For all my dread-headed people out there, don't you just love a fresh retwist? It's a beautiful, wonderful thing, ain't it? What up, though? This is your host, Mr. Always on 10, and welcome to the Intelligent Idiots Podcast, where today I am wearing an oversized hoodie. So you already know what it is. It's fit check time, baby. Coming straight from the Linguist Truly. Oversized. Gote 13. If you can see the accents. Hoodie, baby. Yeah. Yeah. If I had some. What's the word I'm looking for? If I had a nice satin lining on the inside, I'd throw it right over my freshly done dreads. Ooh, it's a beautiful thing. And just let them sit and let them lay, just so you can see the whole thing, just so you can see the whole fit. You know? You see that? You see that level of detail? It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I never got into like distressed fits until the end of last year when I started shopping with these guys. And I love their work. It when I'm saying if when I have my own brand, I'm definitely wanting to do some anime inspired stuff. I would like to thank all the people listening on Apple Podcasts. Right, I was just taking a look at my stats and trying to make sure I had everything straight. For every individual service, listening locations, and you guys over on Apple are banging it out. I really truly appreciate you, especially all the return listeners. Here I am, like so focused on the video aspect of things, trying to make sure everything is cool for YouTube, so I can get like clips later on when I'm not being lazy. Or just in a dopamine drenched. I don't even know what the phrase I'm looking for. I'm sleepy. I'm tired. It's like 10:30. I gotta be at work in the morning. But at the same token, I gotta have this episode out for you guys in the morning. So let's vibe out. We're over in r/toxic workplace with a post by CM Hopkins, 7443. My former coworker just resigned live on camera during the company all hands meeting, and I am still not okay. Let me tell you about someone I used to work with. I'm going to call her V. V started at our company, a mid-sized HR tech firm, fully remote, the kind of place that puts people first in their mission statement and then immediately proves they don't mean it. As a senior implementation analyst, okay, that's an interesting title, she was good, like really good. The kind of person who figures out what's broken before anyone else notices it's broken and then fixes it quietly while everyone else is still arguing about whether it's actually broken. About a year into her tenure, the company decided they wanted to build out a client strategy function. New department, new direction, big vision. They tapped V for it because, obviously, who else? She basically been doing half the work already without the title. Here's where it gets fun. They gave her a new title. They gave her a raise. What they did not give her was the raise that the position actually warranted because V, being the thorough person that she is, did her research. The raise they gave her landed her $5,000 below the published floor for the role she'd just been promoted into. Not the ceiling, the floor. She flagged it professionally, was told the budget was what it was, and they revisited at review time. She let it go because V is a professional and she had a department to build. So she built it by herself. For 6 months, she was the entire client strategy department. One person, solo. She built the workflows, the client-facing processes, the internal documentation. She made suggestions about how to scale it. a tracking dashboard, a cross team SOP library, things that would have made everyone's lives easier. Every single suggestion was met with some version of, we love this. We just don't have the bandwidth to support it right now. What they had bandwidth for was the monthly all hands meeting. Big production, slides, cameras on, the whole thing. One of the segments was called the Wins Wall. They pull out shout outs from the company recognition channel and feature 3 to 5 people with their photo, what they were recognized for, and a quote. Winners got a $25 Amazon gift card. I'm busy. I won't be there for the meeting. Ever. V was in that recognition channel constantly. Coworkers shouted her out. Clients sent in feedback about her specifically. She was mentioned by name more times than almost anyone in her department cycle. She was featured on the Wins Wall exactly 0 times in 6 months. 1 month, her slide was literally on the screen. She could see her own photo, and the person running the meeting got confused and said, "Oh, my mistake," and moved on. Just skipped her. Her face on the screen for the whole company to see, and they moved on. She stayed professional. She stayed focused. She kept building. Then the company announced they were finally going to hire someone to help her in the client strategy department. V was relieved. Genuinely. She was stretched thin and she wanted support. Then she found the job posting. The floor of the salary range for the new hire, the person coming in to assist her in the department she built, reporting to a function she created, was $5,000 more than what V was currently making. The ceiling was $30,000 more. V had been holding that department together with hope and caffeine for 6 months. Whoever walked in off the street to help her was going to be making anywhere from $5,000 to $30,000 more than her before they spent a single day figuring out the system she built. V updated her resume that same afternoon. It took her about 6 weeks. She didn't rush. She was precise about it. She found a role, director level, not manager, director, at a company that paid more than the ceiling of what she would have made at the old place, even in the best case scenario. She gave herself a week between accepting the offer and the last day she'd have access to company systems. And she did her math very carefully because the monthly all hands meeting fell inside that window. The all hands slides lived in a shared presentation platform. V had to log in. She helped build the template. She knew exactly where the Wins Wall slides lived in the deck. 3 minutes before the meeting started, V added one more slide to the Wins Wall. Her photo, her name, recognized for relentless improvement. The copy read something like, over the past 6 months, V single-handedly built the client strategy function from nothing, was recognized by colleagues and clients more times than she can count, and was never once featured on this wall. She used that energy to find a director-level role at a company that understood her value before she walked in the door. Today is her last day. The Wins Wall works. It turns out just not always in the direction you expect. The quote at the bottom was from herself. She logged out of the work laptop. She joined the Zoom from her phone. She sat on camera looking completely unbothered while the meeting ran through its agenda. When the presenter got to the Wins Wall and clicked to V's slide, there was a pause. One of those pauses where you can see someone's eyes moving faster than their mouth. The chat started going. V took a screenshot. 30 seconds later, while the presenter was still visibly processing what she was reading, V's resignation email landed in HR, her manager, the presenter, and the CEO simultaneously. Effective immediately. Personal email, return address for the equipment included. She said on camera for the remaining 7 minutes of the meeting. Then she logged off. Last I heard, she's 3 months into the new role and thriving. The Winds Wall slide is apparently still a topic of conversation at that company. I think about her at least once a week. I love it. I love it. I love it. I hate how undervalued and whipped she was made to be by this company that did not care for her and simply just wanted to continue to make profit every single day while not caring about the people whatsoever. I truly hate capitalism. And to my core. To my core. None of these companies would exist without the people, period. Not just the people working for them, but the people who interact. The people who have built this entire, every single industry, not just their industry, every single industry. And all the customers who would even engage with a product the company might be making or might be helping to produce or might simply be helping another company in the long run. A motherfucker to make $30,000 more than me, but be in a position lower than mine, an assistant, but could potentially make $30,000 more than I do. And all I wanted was $5,000. So at a minimum, my assistant would match me, would have to learn from me to work within every single system I built. How could that person possibly be my financial equal? That equity is naturally a thing that should come with time. It shouldn't take 5, 10, 15, 20 years like a lot of these jobs do. It shouldn't be, oh, you've worked 365 days straight. Here's a quarter. It shouldn't be, oh, you have worked $10,000, 10,000 hours. Here's a nickel. Ugh. Ugh. And then the fact of the matter that she even went to her bosses and said, hey, let me get this. She went to her bosses, knew exactly what she should be making, knew the range, and just simply wanted $5,000. Has she been given what she wanted, what she asked for, what she deserved at the bare minimum? At the bare minimum, right? Because she built the entire department. So honestly, it shouldn't even be manager. It should be director. She built the department. She didn't walk into the role. She built the role, the department, and positions to be underneath her and above her. If she had got that $5,000, she wouldn't have even looked at what the position was paying for the newbie to come in at. Now here they are, ass out. If she was above and super beyond, just holding it all really truly together by herself, which she was, actually, no. That new person is coming in to work and won't know how to work those systems. Because they're an assistant and they're not a manager or a director. They do not know. The OP is the only person who knows. Yo, let's read the comments. Top comment by Calm Down Reddit 509. That is epic. Good for V. With 102 upvotes. I love it. I love it. Gator Babe 25 replies exactly what I was thinking. Corp life beats everyone to hell and back. It's so nice to see a girl winner kick ass tastefully. Go get 'em, V. And cereal for kids. A friend of mine had a coworker quit during a departmental Zoom meeting. She wrote her resignation on toilet paper. Took a pic changed her background to the TP pic and sat off camera chatting until removed from the meeting. Use your imagination on what she wrote. Brilliant. Brilliant. And OP replies to that. V said that what she did felt so cathartic. Oh, man. Ooh. We got an edit. Yes, this is real. No, I will not name the company. Yes, she knows I posted this. As she said, and I quote, "Make sure they understand the slide was tasteful." And OP says it was tasteful. So that leads me into OP's comment underneath her own post. I can promise you, because it's in all caps, I can promise you that, one, this was no AI written story. I did use it to tighten up the wording, but that's about it. I believe you, because you spelled about wrong. Huh. Two, V is a real woman. She knows about this post, and she's read, while laughing, all the comments. If you have ever worked in corporate America, you know things like this can absolutely happen. As far as consequences, what would she have? What did she do wrong? You know? The consequences are, hey, if the new job found out what she did the last job, they'd be like, ooh, can't have her on Zoom calls, can't have her facing different clients, got to make sure to keep her nice and happy, or we're downsizing, bye-bye, and just bring in a new person. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing that this post doesn't show where, or say who the previous employer was, what her name is, or who the new employer is. Even though all these companies need to be consistently dragged to the ground for mostly internally how their managers do things, which is a top-down training, a socialized, bred environment meant to just have all the workers be like slaves, really. Wan Moore replies to OP's comment. Unfortunately for you, AI writing style is just very formulaic. It's always written like lines from a movie script with line breaks for pacing and emphasis. That's the biggest change, which happens when you use one of the bots to clean up your writing. Don't do it. Say things in your own voice, and it'll be fine. And here's the thing. Fuck AI. Thoroughly. Fuck AI. Fuck the data centers. Fuck all these people who are pro it. I hate that I even have to engage with it. My job uses it. Unfortunately, I'm engaging with it in my business side of things. Not the podcast, but just me being I don't even want to talk about it. I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed even thinking about it. More comments. Let's bring up more comments. More comments. More comments. Do I like more comments? And Senior Feature 8276 drops a comment with 2 upvotes because this is a more new recent story. You should just name the company. Shaming them seems like the only reasonable way to influence change, so another V doesn't happen. And OP replies, I really did try, but V is adamant about keeping these things anonymous. While she didn't do anything legally wrong, we both understand how anti-establishment what she did was, and she doesn't want her new place finding out. Which is understandable. These motherfuckers will treat her wrong. And she's a woman. Ugh, people are annoying. And we got a comment with a downvote, which I think is the only downvoted comment here on this particular post, period. With one downvote by Red5 underscore standing down. Maliciously sabotaging an all hands presentation is a good way to get that resignation coded as terminated with prejudice. And OP replies to that. This company exclusively used the work number, which I don't understand what that is. But that got OP 2 upvotes. Me no understand. I'm glad V's doing better. I'm glad she's making more bread. I'm glad. Well, I would be glad if her company continued to treat her several margins better than the old company. Hey, just make this whole department for me. And here's a couple dollars. Oh, you want a couple thousand more? No. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy work. Ugh. We're over in r/entitled people with a post by Oh Blonde One. Some people. I'm part of a local donation group, so every now and then I get asked to help with clothes donations. Someone passes away or downsizes, and I will help wash, fold, sort, and deliver the clothes to various free stores. Sometimes, if we are notified of someone in the community in need, we will deliver essentials like winter or kids' clothing to their house. We're just a group within the community. There is no religious, political, or ulterior motive. We just spread extra through the community as needed, as discreetly as possible to help out. This particular situation just hurts my head, and I'm still trying to figure out how it escalated the way it did. So, a few days ago, there was a fire in our community, which left 3 families displaced. We collected what we could in the sizes they needed, and off we went. We don't ask for anything in return other than knowing the families are a little better off. We always apologize and explain that while they may not be the styles they're accustomed to, as their donated clothing, but at least it is clean and warm. If they had specific needs, to let a member of the group know, and we would do what we can. A lot of our collected items belong to other families whose children outgrew the items. It's anonymous, and it's a way for our more comfortable community members to help out others within the community with this. It's one thing I love about my community. People don't hesitate to help where needed. I was given an address and headed out as usual. Pull in, get the bags and coats to the door, and knock. After that, I'm not sure what to think. It started off as it usually does, and there was a mother and 3 children, so I explained that there are 3 bags of clothing in the sizes submitted and a box of appropriate age toys, just like with the other families. This is so nice. I thought I heard wrong when she said she preferred my coat and just said, what? Huh? She called me rude and told me again, this stuff is okay, but I want the coat you're wearing. When I told her, no, I'm sorry, but I just bought this coat, she got angry and accused me of picking through donation bags for the good stuff. I've never run into this issue before. None of the group members are well off. In fact, that's why we do what we do. Because life is hard here, and we believe in sharing what we have as a community. We collect good quality items from those with extra and distribute it freely to those that need it or have specific needs. Sometimes we all take items from our own closets if they're needed more elsewhere. Last year, we raised funds to help purchase a wheelchair-accessible vehicle for a family. The year before, it was a young family whose matriarch was diagnosed with terminal cancer. This year's cause is to build 4 tiny homes for the homeless in our community to use as needed. Aw. Our goal is to provide stability so they can successfully reintegrate during and after addiction rehabilitation. We all do what we can to try to help, basically. It's a hard world to feel alone in. Now, my code is expensive, $250. But I've also saved gift cards for 2 years and anxiously watched for postseason sales before finally taking the plunge and got it for 75% off. Maybe I messed up by wearing it on this errand? I don't know. After I said no, this is my code a second time, she started yelling at me. I just left the bags on the doorstep and drove away. Today, I wake up to a slew of texts from the group asking me to explain why I refused to give the mother any winter coats and why I left everything at the end of the driveway, allegedly in a ditch. They aren't questioning. Most are downright accusatory. Some are just borderline mean. It's the kind of day where I feel like giving up on this making the world a better place thing. I've been where these families are, and people helped me just like this. I know what it feels like to rely on others, so I do try to be compassionate and understanding without condescending or pitying. I don't often talk about what I do because nobody needs to know what came from where or who is getting what. It's just paying it forward. I do this because it's been done for me and it's the right thing to do. It's that simple. But after today, I don't even want to reply to anyone. It's just not only that woman, it's the texts that are getting kind of nasty at this point. It's these people obviously talking about me behind my back. It's how quick they were to assume I must have done this. I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore after all of this. I've been part of this for 5 years and have never had a complaint before. I feel betrayed by people I thought were my friends. It's just all feels gross, dramatic, and depressing now. And that's not how this is supposed to feel. I'm kind of sad reading this. I didn't mean to read this in such a sad way. Here I am, like, getting more and more dramatic as I read it. And where, maybe it's because it's late and I'm a little sleepy. Where's my punch him in the face kind of energy? Where's my, because if you don't know, I'm a fucking asshole. And I live by that. I'm happy to be one. Why? Because people deserve to have an asshole put other assholes in their fucking place. So if you acting up, you acting wild, you acting crazy, you saying stupid shit, dumb shit, I will happily be there to cuss you the fuck out. Yep. I am happily okay with punching a motherfucker in the face in a video game, YouTube, in a video game, and never on camera. No witnesses. No face, no case. No face, no case. No face, no case. Yeah. No face, no case. Let me stop. I've never been in a house fire, so I've never like lost all my shit. I couldn't imagine having to like try and start over, especially if I have kids. But also at the same time, I couldn't imagine legitimately being like, hey yo, let me get that coat. Let me get that coat. Come up off that coat. I couldn't. My brain is kind of fried even thinking about it. And I've done exactly what OP has done before, right? You wait until some shit is out of season and it's still in the rack and it's in your size or it's online and it's like 50+% off. Matter of fact, do I have some? I swore I had like some gift cards chilling over here. Maybe. Oh, yeah. Like, go crazy off the gift cards. And I just got these puppies sitting. I think I used up everything in this one, but I got my Red Lobster off of this. I gotta actually check these and see how much money is actually on these. I couldn't. I couldn't. And fuck Walmart, by the way. I found this like on the street, like forever ago. So I don't even know if this is like activated, and I kind of feel bad for the person who dropped it. But it's been like a year or two, so it's been a hot minute. This one I like won from work for being awesome, and this one I don't even know how I got this, but this says 2019 on it. Is this from like my ex? Because I'm not like a Tim Hortons person. But them blueberry motherfucking Timbits though, boy. Ooh. All right. So like, where are we at? Math wise in my head, she got the jacket 75% off. So that means she got that jacket for what? 62.50? 62.50, and she might have, whether the calculation includes the gift cards or not, getting a $250 jacket for 62.50 is like phenomenal. Nowadays it's just like, hey, put that puppy on Affirm or Klarna, or because layaway isn't really a thing anymore, I don't think. Like throw that puppy over there. I've taken myself from working for minimum wage, Michigan minimum wage, $7.25 an hour, all the way up to where I'm making it now. Where pre Trump, I had a 6-figure year. I had a 6-figure year. I was a happy camper, just money wise, because God, I was doing 12-hour shifts. I was doing 12-hour shifts. Luckily enough, the place where I was at, it wasn't like super physically demanding that particular year. But once I transferred to this new spot, and those are 12-hour shifts, I might be cooked. So I'm just thinking, you know. I'm just thinking. I don't even think about shit. All the people in my squad texting me, "You're on bullshit. Fuck you. Fuck you. Here's what happened. You should have just called and asked. You should have just came and checked in. You should have been like, yo, what's going on? I'm hearing this. This sounds crazy. This doesn't sound like you at all." Ugh. Bunch of backstabbing ass fucking losers in this fucking squad. It just goes to show you, like, even well-intentioned people can still have fucked up parts of their personality. Can still have, why does it say like that? Why do I say it like that? Can still have parts of their personality be fucked up. Right? Because why you jumping straight to accusing me? We literally taken from the more fortunate and given to the less fortunate for years, for half a decade. Oh my God, half a decade. Yo, top comment. Voyager number 7, but 7 spelled out in Roman numerals. So Voyager VII, all caps for VII. With 319 upvotes, I'm so sorry to hear it. The entitled woman is a nuisance, but you handled her well. The real problem, actually, she should have got hit in the face. The real problem is that your colleagues believed her automatically without even asking you what happened. That's pretty awful. Again, old girl who opened up the door with her 3 kids, the kids would have been like, hey, get your hands off my mom. Get your hands off. $250. I paid $60 for this coat. Matter of fact, what's the tax on that? What's the tax on what's the tax on $60, y'all? I'm not about to do multiplication in my head. That's not happening. 6250 times 0.06. Wait, sales tax is different state by state, right? Doesn't matter. $65. Boop. give or take however much your sales tax is. So a $250 coat for $70. This hoodie right here was 80, 90. I would have went insane crazy if I could have got this for a quarter of the price. If I could have got this for less than $25. But I didn't get this in the store. I got it online. Back to Voyager's comment. I don't know if there's anything you can do to reconnect with them in a positive way after this, or if you even want to. I just wanted you to hear that you didn't do anything wrong and that they should never have jumped on you without checking into the facts first. I know you know it, but sometimes it can help to hear from the outside too. Best wishes. And OP replies to that. I've had 1 out of 5 text asking if I'm okay and then what happened. The rest seem to believe that I did this. I don't know how to move on from this because the truth will come out eventually in a community this small. It always does. The question now is, do I want to be involved with people like this? I don't think I can trust them after this. You shouldn't. You should not. Absolutely should not. Voyager replies to that with a nice little paragraph. Yeah, I don't blame you. If you do decide that you want to move on with the group, I would back up a bit until the truth does come out. Here's the thing. It's she said by the seashore, seashells. It's she said. All right. Fuck the he said. Too many S's. She said. How you gonna believe some random who was obviously in a heightened emotional state because they have lost their home and all their belongings versus the person that you've known for half a decade who consistently works with you to help the less fortunate? And then this person has never had any complaints. Like, if I didn't read the story in advance, I would absolutely be on the fence right now. And I would devil's advocate it and be like, hold on now. You only got 20% of the people rocking with you? You telling me 4/5 of everybody in the group is like, yo, bitch, what are you doing? You just did this crazy ass shit. Yo, what's your problem? I would be like, either you're a bad judge of character and or I would be side-eyeing you. Like, yo, are you is this story from your perspective true? But I've read the updates. Yeah, I'm not about to read all of Voyager's long-ass comment. Here I am, going off script. Yeah, what's wrong with me? No, I kind of do got to read Voyager's long-ass fucking comment. Because if he gets to replying, that's on me. I would back up a bit until the truth does come out. So you've got them already chagrined at having believed so easily. I can't believe I just read the word chagrined out loud. When's the last time you read the word chagrined out loud? It helps the brain so much to read. That just baffled me for a second. And then address it as a general problem. Quote, now that we've seen how much damage can be done when we believe too quickly than what we're told happened, how can we set a good group policy about how to respond to a complaint from our clients? How do we ensure that we're giving the client a proper hearing, but not taking their word against a volunteer with no evidence either? Because the truth is, it's kind of a ridiculous thought that your group didn't have a real policy on complaints from clients in the first place and had to blunder through on whatever the individual members happen to believe on the spur of the moment anyhow. Even apart from the fact that it hit you like a ton of bricks, they should have had a policy and procedure for how to handle complaints long since. I agree and disagree. So I agree heavily. If You decide that you want to stay in the group after the kerfluffle dies down. That's my word. And I certainly don't think you're obligated to. If you decide you're not up to dealing with them anymore, then maybe you can advocate for good procedures. That would help to safeguard you in the future and to safeguard everyone else, clients and volunteers alike, from similar situations, similar issues as well. And it would give the volunteers a sense of how to direct our moral energy in this kind of case, so it doesn't go off the rails and run over somebody. I'm a little off in my brain. I'm a little off in my brain box. Carmium replies to Voyager, I couldn't and wouldn't just swallow that crap from the entitled woman or workmates. Would you pull back up to her crib? That's the question. I will post an open letter on on Facebook or the organization's website comment section or to any appropriate emails anywhere I can think of and state the simple truth. You're immediately crashing out. I'm all here for it. I have been falsely accused of behavior unbecoming a member of insert nice charity organization. Here are the facts. On insert date, I delivered a selected winter clothing to a family in the such and such area at the request following a house fire. 2, the woman who answered the door immediately pronounced the clothing okay and accused me of cherry picking clothing donations, demanding I give her my personal coat. I informed her I bought it myself and was not going to donate it. 3, she became abusive and rude, and I left the 2 bags on her porch, not in a ditch as she claimed. It appears that several coworkers and other people who have known me for years have immediately accepted the falsehoods the woman has made as fact. It is not in my nature to counter-accuse and argue, but I am posting this open letter once to inform everyone of the actual events. Signed, Oh Blonde One. I had to read OP's username again. My bad. My fault. Quartz Girl replies to that. I agree with this so much. People have had to do that here in my town too. We have small groups that helps out the community that aren't in any organization or charitable. Can I talk? It's 11:07 p.m. Apparently I can. Or charitable groups, just themselves giving back. We had specific residents in town that were running their mouth and taking donations and selling them for money. That makes me upset. Eventually, these residents were burning through different community groups and established organizations, and they would complain about each one, saying they weren't helping and deliberately causing trouble. These groups did post on Facebook telling their sides of the situation, just like you suggested. It didn't take long for the rest of the town to realize that these specific residents were pulling these scams, and they were booted out of all community groups in town. Sometimes you have to do... sometimes you do have to stand up and tell your side to the community. Eventually, the truth will come out. All right, I mean, I'm always for the violence, but, maybe I'm such a private person that, like, outside of business stuff and just sharing memes and ongoing, like, daily news stuff, I'm not, like, posting my personal information. So if I get into it with somebody at work, which technically this isn't work, this is a charity, I'm not posting it on Facebook. I got like so few people as friends on Facebook from work that I got more fingers on one hand. Wait, do I? Did they surpass that number? No matter what, I got more fingers on both my hands than the number of friends I have on Facebook compared to work. They can follow me on Instagram if they want to, right? I mean, it's different. That's my business page, or whichever one they decide to follow. There's so many of them. Oh Blonde One, OP, replies to, I forgot whose comment that was, Quartz Girl. You are brilliant. After reading this, I started thinking about other groups that this woman may have been a part of at her previous location. Well, I now have 4 witnesses to past behavior willing to come with me Wednesday from 3 group. Wow. Oh, wait, you got an exclamation point. 3 groups that have been similarly burned by this woman. The question is, do I want to take it that far? Yes, I do and don't. I feel this has taken up far more valuable time and is taken away from the original purpose of the group. I'm also being asked to submit my name for board president by the majority of the board for the upcoming term. So I'm being supported now. I still don't trust any of them to have my back should anything happen. And if I replace the prez, shit will happen. Why will shit happen if you replace the current president? OP says, it's only been an official group with a board for about 4 months, but we have been doing this for 5 years now as a project of mine and the current board president that gathered considerable traction and volunteer/funding as time went on. You started this? You and the current president. Huh. So they need policies in place, if only to protect the clients that use the service. But as a new board, we are all just learning the official ropes and red tape as we go. The one person I thought I can count on is currently the one insisting this happened as the client describes. I'm just so confused. Is it the president? Wait. I'm so curious. Miss Manda regrets is quoting from the story. I've also saved gift cards for 2 years and anxiously watched for postseason sales before finally taking the plunge and got it for 75% off. End quote. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Not her, them, or us. It's your coats. Sidebar. I keep interrupting everybody's comments, but like, I don't want to wear other people's shit, especially like off their back. I don't think nope. I think I've bought like one thing thrifting before, and of course washed it. I think I did. I don't even know actually now at this point. Or maybe I did, but I knew I couldn't fit it and I knew I would lose weight, so I put it in my closet. That's probably what it is. I'll find it eventually if it does exist in my brain, remembers that memory and connects it from this point and that point and the future point, you know? So many entanglements. Shout out to Smith family. So many entanglements. Shout out Jada. Oh, she's a predator. She's a predator. And a hebephile. That's what she is. If you don't know what that is, look it up. Oh, hopefully I'm using the right word. Hebephile. Hopefully I'm using the right word. Yeah, anybody can be dirty. Anybody can have bugs on them. Anybody can have fucking bed bugs at their crib, and you want the coat off of somebody's back? Off their back? Off their back? Not shit that's like fresh, clean, washed. You know that the charity is going to like do their thing to make sure the clothes are good. But off their back? No, it's crazy. Kraft, Miss Manda regrets, back to their comment, says, Kraft an itemized text saying that the woman demanded the coat off your back, verbally abused you for refusing, and that you left the items with her, not dumped it in the driveway. Finished the text with that. I feel betrayed by people I thought were my friends. It just feels gross, dramatic, and depressing now. And that's now how this, not how this is supposed to feel. And hit send. And if they don't knock it off and apologize, block them. And OP replies, my anxiety is through the roof, but I just hit send. Ooh. You know what? OP is a wild individual. OP is a wild fucking individual because they have an update in the comments. And I didn't read this. Updates. As suggested, I did text them as a group in bullet form stating facts only. 1, items were carried to the front door as per usual. 2, client requested my personal attire. 3, client accused me of theft from donation bags. 4, client verbally abused me. 5, I left the following on client's doorsteps: a half bag of women's clothing in sizes medium to large, 1.5 bags of children's clothing sizes 3 to 8, 1 bag of assorted linens and towels, 1 box of assorted children's toys and books. I am trying very hard to understand the context of some of the messages I received about this, and am truly confused as to why anyone would think that I would purposefully degrade a client. You all know my history and reasons I participate. As I feel I no longer have a place of trust within our group, I am formally resigning from my roles within the committee and the group. I will, with your blessing, remain on the helping tree as a contact. So far, the replies are very interesting. Okay. I see the little quote. I see the little half quote there. I tried to keep reading it as if she was still like talking, like she was in the text that she sent. My brain is fried. So far, the replies are very interesting. They range from apologetic to accusatory to narcissistic. The most interesting one so far, I think, was not intended for me and insinuated that this was for the best. I can't believe how naive I've been. Yeah, you gotta better yourself so you know when shitty people are in your life. There's an emergency meeting being scheduled for next week, as apparently you're not just allowed to resign midterm from a board like this without a valid reason, which I think I have. Bitch, I'll do whatever the fuck. The benefit of this is my accuser also has to give an official statement in the meeting minutes because I've resigned. Oh, meeting minutes. That's how you know I'm not in a charity organization like this, which I'm allowed to attend and comment on, which adds validity to my reasons for resigning. Would it be petty if I wore my coat again, or should I just choose something older? Genuinely asking. I don't want to make things worse. I just want out to do my own thing. Rumors are already starting and seem to be in my favor. Small towns are terrific/terrible for that. And I've just been texted asking me to withdraw my resignation. Quote, for fear this may cause an irreparable rift in our charitable group. I have 8 months left to my current term as secretary. Oh, a position that requires the trust of the board members to record accurate notes, which I no longer feel I have. I don't want my character unfairly questioned again after I've worked so damn hard to build it up. My resignation was intended to prevent drama and divide. It is doing the opposite. What would you do? I feel like I'm damned if I do and damned if I don't. My thing is like, everyone there should know what the fuck you've been wearing coat-wise. Like, if you're coming in from the code and you got a fire-ass coat on, it's $250 originally. I'm assuming it's like some H&M type shit, right? Because those coats bang, but when they go on sale, it's beautiful. Ooh. I got like 2 Tommy jackets I had caught at like 50% off. So it was like buy one, get one. You feel me? Buy one, get one. That shit was beautiful when I caught those. I wanted to get like 2 more, but I was like, I'm broke. I can't do it. Yo. I would end up spending like, what was it, like $400? The coats were originally like $200. I got them again for half off. So I got 2 coats for the price of one. How are you, if I walk in with that shit on and I had to go pick up from the main location where we got all the shit stored, so obviously some people were there. Where's the disconnect? If we're all collecting stuff and we're all sorting stuff and we're all helping each other, not even like the whole group, but at least multiple people are there at once. Sorting, washing, tagging, and inventorying. I don't know. Shouldn't you know what's yours and what's not yours? Shouldn't you know what's mine and not mine? OP comments like so much, but I want to get to the update. Oh, I want to get to the update. You know what? Fuck the update. We're going to do some reading. We're over on weekend.com with a post. That sounds crazy, don't it? With a post by Alexa W. Lee back on June 24th, 2013. Recycled clothing facts. And this is what we're reading. Recycling unwanted clothing reduces landfill waste as well as the amount of resources needed to produce new clothing. This is relevant to the story, you guys. I know it sounds like I just skipped to a whole different story, even though we have the updates. Just listen. It also lessens the waste produced by the manufacturing process. Clothing scraps end up in the landfill too. Used clothing can be donated, sold, or disassembled for the fabric. Americans discard an estimated 68 pounds of clothing a year while buying 10 pounds of recycled clothes. In 2006, 2.5 billion pounds of fabric were kept from the landfills by used clothing purchases. Yet about 99% of what is thrown away can be recycled. Clothing and household textiles consisting of fabrics such as cotton, polyester, nylon, rayon make up almost 5% of the total garbage in landfills. I'm legit looking over at 2 bags of donations that's been chilling for a minute because I don't throw shit away. Besides, like, underwear. Underwear. I think I got like a shirt in there that has a rip in it. Actually, I feel weird now that I'm saying this as I'm reading about recycling. I got to look into my own local area where I can be like, hey, I want to recycle this. And it's my ratty ass underwear. you know. Once you get them holes in the motherfuckers, it's like, ooh, I did a deep squat today at work. Take the motherfuckers off later on. It's like, I really like this pair of boxers. And it makes it even worse because I'm losing weight. It's like, was I not small enough? Was I not small enough? Did I wash you too many times? I put you in cold water. I made sure not to use too much soap to eat away at your fibers. This hole. All right, back to it. There are multiple environmental benefits associated with recycling clothing. It reduces the amount of pesticides used in growing cotton or to make fabrics from petroleum sources and the water needed to dye fabrics, and cuts down on the pollutants, greenhouse gases, and volatile organic compounds released into the water and air from manufacturing processes. Clothes are typically recycled by donating them to charities like Salvation Army or Goodwill Industries, which will provide tax forms for deductions. You can also sell them at consignment stores for credit or cash, or on the internet through auction and donation sites. Charities will either sell the used clothing and use the proceeds for their work, or donate the items to the needy. About 20% of clothing donations are turned over to thrift shops. The remainder is sold to textile recyclers, can end up as wiping rags, insulation, upholstery stuffing, ingredients in paper products, or used in clothing exports. Benefits to the consumer and the industry. Customers who buy used clothing also benefit from what are usually substantially lower prices compared to the price of new clothes. Recycled clothing also creates jobs at charity organizations, consignment stores, and businesses that reuse the fabric to make products for sale. Cleaning rags, blankets, new clothes, and even the US dollar are examples of products that may contain fabric from recycled clothing. I did not know that. I might get a dollar that might have my own clothes in it. I mean, the likelihood. What is it? A billion or a trillion? What are the odds? The U.S. textile recycling industry consists of about 2,000 companies, most of which are family-owned. They provide about 17,000 jobs and account for gross sales of $700 million every year. And again, this has been updated in June of 2013. Originally posted May 11th, 2011. This is interesting. Shout out to Lexa W. Lee. I am so curious. And it does not seem like they are contributing to this website anymore. That kind of sucks. Is this website still active? It does not look like it has any new posts. Aww. Oh, that kind of sucks. That kind of sucks. Yeah, weekend.com. I'm going to make sure to have that linked up in the information so y'all can go read that yourselves and look at the references, of course, that they have linked at the bottom of that particular article. And maybe Lexa is popping around somewhere doing some writing for some other websites. Doop. Yeah, because as soon as I start typing in Lexa, W. Lee. Oh, maybe they're from Munich, Germany, or maybe this isn't them. Oh, this is a fire-ass photo shoot. Like, what page am I on? I'm gonna follow this Lexa Lee _arts. Beautiful photo shoot. We're over to the updates. Because I am super distracted. We're not doing that. The meeting. As I parked there were a couple that stopped to say hi, but the majority of the board did not acknowledge me. My accuser, though, she had a great laugh at my expense and literally taunted me in front of the others on the way in. Ooh, here for more, are you? Guess you didn't get enough of me yet. And blows me a kiss. She showed up with the president. I feel like that's relevant, especially seeming as she ran home. The meeting started at 6 p.m. I was not allowed to sit at the table until the issue was brought up. I sat alone for over 45 minutes. Finally, someone peeked outside at 6:53 to see if I was still there and called me in. My accuser wasn't there. I sat down, and the first thing said to me was, well, we have made a mistake. Followed by this big flowery apology that stank of bullshit and was gaslit better than a propane stove. Quote, you know that when a complaint comes in, we have to investigate it. At that point, I just exploded. Like, I didn't even talk to my kids like that when they were babies. It was the kind of tone you have when talking to the very simplest of minds. I told them there's a massive difference between investigating and outright accusing, and that I didn't appreciate how their ineptitude at leading a board nearly derailed the whole organization and just put a really bad light on what we were doing. She says, by unanimous decision, we've decided to not accept your resignation. Welcome back. I feel likely I've likely been this confused before, but I don't remember when. Reading this confused me. I was expecting this to be much harder. I had a factual speech ready and everything. Walked in and it was just, oh, we oopsied. Oh, tee. Well, that's unfortunate that you refuse to accept it, Nope says, because it's given and I'm not rescinding it. I'm out. And it seems you all know exactly why. For those who have reached out to me, I'll consider your offer of leading this board, but at this time, I'm not comfortable with the lack of trust and transparency I'm seeing. And I left. My phone has been blowing up all night. I meant to update immediately, but it just kept ringing and ringing. I don't even know how so many found out. Good old gossiping, I guess. But I had over 30 calls and just as many texts / social media messages. So what happened while I was waiting outside? My accuser decided to get on something pre-meeting. Literally acted like a wild animal at one point. I'm told it was so bad that the police and child protective services were called by 4 or 5 ladies present. This group was a lot smaller than I thought it was. And or maybe that's just the board being small. And when told they were called, my accuser took off running home. That's a whole nother story. The kids are now safe, I'm told, so there's that. The versions I'm hearing are surprisingly similar, for once. So I'm going to tell you the events as I was told. President's husband is apparently an addict who gets his stash from the sisters-in-law / accuser. Huh. This was so confusing when I read it the first place. Prez's husband is apparently an addict who gets his stash from the sister-in-law, who is also the accuser. I'm not clear on the details, but I'm told blackmail was involved. Common Word says she threatened to spill the beans on hubby. You know how it goes. Get hurt, get prescription, get hooked, get cheaper street drugs because they're cheaper and no doctor regulates them / questions your dose. There's a rumor he is also sleeping with the sister-in-law, but this is not confirmed, but has been going around for the better part of a year now. Maybe I should start listening to more rumors because I had no idea. Accuser started off normal, if twitchy. She went to the washroom and shit allegedly went sideways not long after she came out. At one point, she was laying on the floor, slithering and grunting like an animal. I wish I could have seen it, but I'm kind of glad I didn't. Yo, these doors, those walls must be so soundproof because you didn't hear that? When accuser left, it swayed the remaining 2 votes my way. There was a discussion on how to handle me where the press just said she'll follow the board on the vote after they shot down her suggestion that the complaint still be addressed. Yo, does your addict husband want OP? The way she glared at me when I came in, yes, wearing my $250 coat, and then I got on sale for 75% off, tells me she was not happy about it either. The vote was unanimous to keep me. I did not wish to stay after all that. Tomorrow, they have an open board meeting to tell people what happened, as transparency is ironically a promise we made to the community, so they know exactly who and what they're supporting. Now, I won't be there, but a lot of angry and confused people will be. I'm glad I'll be missing it, but I have a feeling I'll hear all about it. I'm told there will be some calling for a president's resignation. We shall see, I guess. I started this feeling lower than low. Tonight I'm surrounded by positivity and I feel good about this decision. Is this karma? It feels like karma. Steps are already being taken to form what we will call the Fringe Farm. We will collect fresh farm goods donated by local farmers and delivered to homes that need a little extra, focusing on those that live between communities and people new to rural life. Eventually, I hope to offer clothing and household goods, but I need to find a source outside the community so I'm not taking from the original group. I have a preliminary board comprised of 3 of 5 members of the original board. LOL. The laughing is me. I've told them they have to finish their term at the group because they do damn good work, and it's not fair to those that need them to just walk away. Hypocritical? Maybe, but I refuse to torpedo the group. 2 still submitted resignations because they're just floored that by that last meeting, theirs was depending upon mine, so their exit meetings are being scheduled for next week. Because they no longer have a secretary to record minutes, I'm being asked to. I'm also being asked to submit my name for press should the current one agree to resign. There's so much going on. This is so messy. I haven't decided if I will. I feel that will come across as petty. And to be honest, it's no longer my business. Thank you for the encouragement. I'm not sure if I would have the courage to attend if not for the overwhelming kindness and support shown here by strangers. You have no idea how much this meant to me when I needed it. Thank you. We got 2 comments here. 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Zombie Zookeeper drops a comment quoting, "Well, that's unfortunate that you refuse to accept it because it's given, and I'm not rescinding it. I'm out." And says, to OP's quotes, "You left out. Go fuck yourselves." And OP replies to Zombie Zookeeper, "Why would you keep zombies as a zookeeper?" That was my version of it, Law. I'm not much of a fighter. Almost fell just now. I'm not much of a fighter on the best days, but I was pretty damn impressed / proud of myself after that. I give all credit for the temporary courage to the awesome people in here who supported me. If it wasn't for them, I doubt this would have played out this way. Update number 2. Update number 2. Final update, because it's update number 2. The aftermath. It's been interesting. The old group has dissolved. Nobody wanted to work with the Prez anymore after all that. They held an emergency meeting to try to figure out why most of the board submitted their resignations, and it was a shit show of Prez accusing the remaining board members of conspiring against her, which caused the last remaining members of the board to also resign over time. Yo, my new board, aka Fringe Farm, is thriving. We've taken over collection and distribution in our area and 2 others as we've merged with 2 other small groups to tap more resources. Wow. Imagine my shock and surprise when the original offender called my treasurer and asked to be put on the list. Of course, we did help her, but we took the secretary's minivan and all 7 of us went as a group. When we got there, it was the former president's husband that answered the door. This is so convoluted. Our first task was to have an ironclad board. Okay. OP works at this charity, was secretary. The president's husband is a crackhead who just so happened to be doing crack or whatever other drug they're doing. There's a Fenty. Is a Fenty. Is a Fent head, a Fent snorter. I don't know how you do fentanyl. I'm sorry, you guys. If you know, drop a comment. But also don't, because that might get you banned on whatever platform you're listening to this on. So don't do that. Matter of fact, drop an emoji. If it's through the nose, if it's through the arm, drop an arm emoji. If it's smoked, drop a blowing smoke emoji. Yeah, I think that works. And if it goes up your ass, drop a peach. So again, OP works at a charity where the president's husband is off that shit. And it just so happens that the sister-in-law of president's husband, which might also be the sister of the president, family-in-law, it could be anybody's biological family member, had their house burned down, along with 2 others. Were they cooking up crack? Were they cooking up meth? Did their house explode? And they reached out to said charity. Oh, let me just continue reading the story. Hold on. Because I'm drawing the lines together, and the story will just do that for you guys. All right, let's read this. Our first task was to have an ironclad board policy that states anyone accused of wrongdoing will be spoken to privately by the president and vice president, neither of which are me. I prefer to work behind the scenes prior to anything else. I'm hearing rumors that the former board president isn't doing well. When the shit hit the fan, her husband left her for sister-in-law, and they've been messed up ever since. Okay, it's not fentanyl, it's not crack, it's meth. All right. Do you shoot or do you snort it? Don't tell me. Just drop the emoji. I honestly feel bad for her. They have no kids, and now it's just her. That's the best thing, that she doesn't have any kids. The worst thing is she might have a meth TD, a MTD, a methylly transmitted disease. You know, that was so corny. We are having a meeting next week, and I believe we are going to invite P on. You're going to invite the former president onto our board in a non-authority role. After hearing everything that went down afterwards, she's had to get a job, and they're currently trying to sell their house amid divorce proceedings. So I guess the rumor he was getting a little more than drugs from sister-in-law was accurate after all. Rumors say former president, is in massive debt thanks to her husband's addiction. I don't think she should have to go through all of it alone. I also think her situation was causing her an immense amount of stress, and that's why everything happened as it did. She knows she messed up. There's no need to rub salt in her wounds. Nope, he drops a reflection at the end of this post. This has been a very eye-opening experience into how our personal lives can seriously affect our moods and actions, I think. We never really know what someone else is going through and why they behave the way they do. Part of me wishes I knew so I could have handled it better on my end. Part of me is still raging / hurt at how it all went down. Hurt people are hurt people. It's sad, but so very true. I'm so curious if this is the former president's sister who decided to do drugs with and bump uglies with her husband. Like, bruh. Okay, so I'm thinking that the sister-in-law, who is also the accuser, who is also technically kind of sort of homeless, but has a place to stay now, was doing some form of drugs and or drug making that led to their house burning down, and two others, which put her in this precarious situation that made her lean on her butt buddy's wife's charitable organization to get free shit from. So that is why she felt entitled, not only because it's who she was bumping ugly with, who was the connect, but also she is high as hell. Was, is, previously, will be higher than a kite, which made her react the way that she did. And that's why the press probably took it so serious, because either she knew or didn't know to some degree, or at the very least took what she said to be true, or at face value. Damn, I am just so curious. Is this her blood sister? I toss her into the charred remains of that crib and, set it back on fire. There's no way you about to get my man's addicted to drugs, steal him away from me, and then fuck up my whole charity organization and destroy my life in it as well. Ugh. Ladies, don't quit your jobs when you get married. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because as you can see, old girl is in debt because she married some fucking methed out loser. Top comment from Round Robin 959903. These default usernames. I wouldn't offer a place on the board right now. It's too soon after what happened. I would ask her if she would like to join the new group as a volunteer. Sometimes trust needs to be rebuilt and earned. She would still have a group of people around her if she is a volunteer. And OP replies, I agree, but it's not only my decision, so we shall see. Mad Peachy Pie comments, you are very kind to want to help someone who tried to ruin your reputation. I'm sorry, guys, I'm sleepy. If you ask her to join your new organization, this should be contingent on a very serious conversation about a lot of subjects. Her husband left her for a family member and drugs, and that's pretty fucked up and awful. However, that doesn't give her an excuse to take it out on someone who wasn't even remotely involved. If this kind of behavior is out of character for her, then sure, have the discussion. If this is how she always is, save yourself a major headache and just let her go. As for the sister in law, she should be put on some kind of list to stop helping her. And OP replies that sister in law is not being helped by her group, but I did refer her to another that has not had dealings with her yet and gave them a heads up that this person needs help but is unstable due to current life choices. She had kids who were blameless in all this that doesn't deserve to be left out. Should she get them back? I think I forgot to mention that she temporarily lost her kids over her animalistic outbursts in the meeting, question mark. Too many witnesses and too many complaints, I guess. And as her and Prez's, former Prez's, husband are blowing through cash like there's no tomorrow on drugs, it's unlikely to resolve itself anytime soon. And yes, it's been confirmed that at least one of the children are P's husbands, the former president's husbands, possibly two of them. As for Prez, I feel for her. I really do think all of this was a desperate control tactic because she had none in her personal life. I get it. I think. My life from the outside looks perfect. Good kids, great partner, great and satisfying job, decent home and car, and people seem to like me. I don't want her left alone. Depression is a terrible thing, and it makes no sense to help a community while ignoring someone within it that obviously is not okay. I will definitely proceed with caution in case P has not learned her lesson, but leaving her out feels wrong. She's so nice. She's so nice. She's so nice. She's so nice. I guess. I guess. I guess. Because very easily, like, the former press could turn into a crash out and then just, like, fuck all kinds of things up in, like, a really messed up way. At least the blonde one is like still helping out the community and even going even harder by helping out with not just clothes and personal stuff for kids, right? It's helping out with food as well. Top tier. Give it up for OP. Give it up for OP. We're over in the r/2 hot takes subreddit with a post by Arts and Crafty Person. Am I the asshole for not wanting to let a neighbor's kid into my house to do arts and crafts? I, 21 female, often babysit my cousins, 10 female, 7 female, and 5 male, with my mom. While they are at our house, I make worksheet packets for them to do, and we do arts and crafts. I like this. They love it, and so do I. A few weeks ago, my neighbor Sandra, 30s female, saw us doing projects in my backyard and asked if her kids, 10 male and 7 female, could join. I agreed. Soon after, another neighbor asked if her son, 8 male, could join too. Yeah, damn, 6 kids. The kids get along well, and it became a routine that whenever my cousins came over, the neighborhood kids did too. However, my mom tells the parents to send their kids over without telling me first. This is frustrating and sometimes leaves me short on supplies, but we usually make it work. This leads to the current issue. 2 weeks ago, the kids were over making things out of air-dried clay. Another neighbor, Melanie, 30s female, asked my mom if her son Henry, 8 male, could join, explaining that the neighborhood kids don't really play with him. Red flag. Not wanting to be rude, my mom welcomed him without informing me. Henry immediately caused issues, pushing kids, hogging clay, if you're listening to the audio, I just like hit my own glasses and screaming when he didn't get his way. This one badass little kid. After we told him several times to wait because the clay was drying, he ran upstairs into my bedroom and noticed my iPad and started playing on it. Bro, what? When my mom tried to take it away, Henry threw it on the ground, cracking the screen, and threw a massive tantrum on my bed. Enraged at this point, I packed up the supplies, sent the neighborhood kids home, and sent my cousins inside to watch TV. My mom was angry because she started getting upset texts from the parents. Yo, watch your own fucking kids. I told her Melanie owed me money for the screen, but my mom told me to just let it go and that she'll repair it. No. The next day, I went to Melanie's house to ask for the repair money. Instead of apologizing, she got defensive and said she owed me nothing and slammed the door in my face. To avoid more neighborhood drama, I decided to pay for the repair myself. No, you shouldn't have backed down. You should have called the cops. Yesterday, my cousins were over for an overnight stay. My mom invited the neighborhood kids over for paper mache making, except Henry. So she did, 0.1 good things that day? Melanie found out and somehow came over and demanded he be let in with the other kids. My mom was at the store at the time, and I told Melanie no, explaining I couldn't. Hey, no was a sentence. She immediately got defensive and asked me what I meant by that. I just kept repeating, no, I can't, and shut the door. Melanie waited outside until my mom got back from the store, and when she returned, Melanie started screaming at her. My mom brought Henry inside anyway and told me to just deal with it. I put my foot down and told her that if Henry stayed, I was putting all the supplies away. The other kids overheard and started getting upset. Ultimately, my mom took Henry back to Melanie's. Now, Melanie is bashing us on Facebook for excluding her son. Because of this, the other two mothers are no longer letting their kids come over. I feel terrible for taking that away from them, but I simply cannot handle Henry in my house. Am I the asshole? Yes, you are, because you are a fucking pushover. You need to run the fade with all your neighbors and your mom. Because what the fuck is happening right now? You're becoming the supreme babysitter for every fucking kid in the tri-state area? What is going on here? You as a 21-year-old are taking care of 7+ children? When you get paid to babysit half that amount, less than half, just your own 3 cousins. Not some random kid next door, down the block, up the street, around the corner. Your cousins. Your siblings' kids. What is it? Your sister's kids? Your brother's kids? And you don't even say because it's irrelevant, right? Because it's simply the sheer amount of children, ages 10 and below, that you're taking care of. You being finessed by your mom consistently, used as unpaid labor, potentially having to come out of your own pocket to do arts and crafts with a bunch of random ass kids that you are not being paid to take care of. Is your mom finessing? Taking money from these parents? And then making you babysit without giving you a cut? Is that why she's like, don't worry about it. I'll pay for your iPad. Don't kick up a storm. Don't kick up a fuss. And then Melanie over here, double down. Yo, crash out. You should have just named her Karen, because all names in this story are fake. You should have crashed out on Melanie. You absolutely should have stayed on her front porch, called the cops to it, and put on them white girl tears. You are 21. They would have kicked in the door for you. Yo, let's read the top comment. I'm dying here. With 967 upvotes by Frankie File. Are you from an island? Your mother is the biggest asshole. Each time she invites extra kids over to hand over to you, I pack up your stuff and leave the house. Your mother can babysit the neighborhood kids. I'd also charge the other mothers for supplies and babysitting. You are seriously undervaluing yourself here. I truly think the mom is getting paid from these mothers already. That's why they're also throwing a fit. Because I couldn't imagine that every single mom on the block is just going to default to being a Karen to having to watch their own kid, right? This person is babysitting. I truly think that those kids are being tossed over. Matter of fact, because the way you read it at the very beginning, that you're babysitting the kids with your mother, I think that the times are being coordinated. Yep. Whoever your sibling is that is your mother's child is letting both of you know in advance, a couple days in advance, and she is reaching out to all the neighbors to get you to take care of them. And you may have been getting a split, right? You take care of the kids, the mother cooks and cleans. So she's like, fuck it, let me ball out. Let me collect 500, not pass go from all the neighbors. Yep, I have come to the conclusion. I have decided. Yes, I have. Bennett's sister number 6 replies to Frankie File. I agree. Your mom needs to be backing you up here. Start charging the extra kids babysitting fees. Invite them ahead of time and tell the parents the cost and time frame. We're doing XYZ from this time to this time and supplies cost this much. Here's my Venmo if your child wants to participate with us. There are enough supplies for this many kiddos. This kind of thing often happens in neighborhoods with kids around, does it? And it's completely fair to not allow non-family member participation or set your own boundaries another way. Charge reasonable babysitting fees or at least material fees in this case, or put a number limit on the kids you can host. Anything outside the 3 cousins was already too much for me. Your mom is not allowing you to set boundaries, and that isn't right. You're not a daycare or kids camp. And if you were, you'd be getting paid. And OP replies to this. It honestly never occurred to me that I was being used for free babysitting for the neighborhood. I just thought I was being nice. I'm definitely going to have a talk with my mom tonight. Your mom finessed you through your whole life. She raised you to be a pushover without you even realizing it. She raised you to be a doormat. A useful doormat, but a doormat. This sucks. This sucks. OP, you gotta get a little bit of therapy so you can understand how you internalized the way you were raised and socialized. Because it's cool to take care of the neighborhood, to be a good community, to be a part of the village, and to help out. But it's being forced on you. No consent. You did not agree. You did not ask. And things are being taken away from you. You know what that sounds like, right? Right? Mischievous mystic comments, not the asshole. You should post this on Facebook. Are the other parents aware of how awful this child is? OP replies, I assume so. About a year ago, he attended another child's birthday party in the neighborhood and pushed the birthday girl's cake on the floor. Yo, what the fuck? What the fuck? Melanie is a super Karen. How she's raising that kid so poorly. So poorly. Mama Guy drops a comment. If the rest of the neighbors are agreeing with Melanie, then let them have Henry over and deal with him. I would tell your mother that she needs to be honest with Melanie next time she asks. Henry doesn't play well with the other kids. If she won't, then your mother needs to be the one to watch and entertain the kids. Then I would find a reason to be out of the house every time they are over. And OP replies to this. My mom doesn't like Henry. He destroyed her plants last Halloween because he didn't get the candy he wanted. But for some reason, she allowed him to come over. Your mom is getting paid, bro. Your mom is getting paid. I think it's because she wants to be viewed as the neighborhood grandma. No, maybe a little bit. right? She gets to like hold this over their heads and like have like a little bit of superiority, especially if she's older, which she is because you're 21 and all the other kids on the block are like 10 and below. But what's 10 years really? Uh, mm, you don't get extra respect just because you're in your 40s to me. Nope. Nope. You're just wrinkly. You're just wrinkly. You want some moisturizer? I got some O'Keeffe's working hands. Put it on your face. Oh my God. And the fact of the matter, you're doing all this labor. All of this labor. Oh, nope. Here's the fucking comment. Throw away losing my friends and comments. You said your mother just invites the kids over for arts and crafts. Does she help you with babysitting or does she leave you to the wolves? And OP replies, the pertinent information. I normally handle all of the childcare while she's either in her room laying down, watching TV, or making food in the kitchen. I see it. I see it. And I hate it. I understand. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Where's your dad at? RIP your pops if he gone, you know? Next welder, 4653 comments. Not the asshole. If your mom wants to help, wants to be this neighborhood grandma, then she can watch the kids herself. The fact that she makes you watch the kids while she goes to relax is messed up. Until she and Melanie offer you a sincere apology and someone pays you back for your iPad, no more arts and crafts and no more babysitting. I know it sucks that the other kids are getting punished for something Henry did, but it seems like people are using this as an opportunity to dump their kids on you without considering how it makes you feel. Have any of the other parents expressed any kind of gratitude for what you've been doing? If they're just leaving their kids with you without showing appreciation, stop watching those kids too. It's disgusting that your mom knows Henry is an ill-mannered brat, yet she'd rather throw you under the bus instead of telling Melanie the cold, harsh truth. She's not doing her son any favors by blaming everyone else for her son's terrible behavior. This is why he's going to continue through life without having any friends. I agree with other people that you should blast her online and let everyone know exactly why Henry wasn't allowed outside. I'm sure you're not the only one who knows that Henry is a brat. You're never going to be a villain for setting boundaries and sticking up for yourself. Big facts, big facts, big facts. And OP replies to those big facts. I didn't mention this in the post, but we had one more girl named Sarah with us. She ended up leaving our group when she found out Henry was coming over. She wanted me to call her mom and tell her Henry was coming. And so I did, and her mom came and picked her up. Her mom was nice. She often gave me some art supplies and she had laying around. About a year ago, Henry pushed her birthday cake, oh, it's that kid, onto the floor, and I think she might have stolen one of her presents too. I'm not 100% positive about the present stealing, but he definitely smashed the cake on the floor. None of the kids like Henry, but all the moms are friends with Melanie except Sarah's mom, who thinks Melanie is entitled, and I honestly agree. You see, everybody on the block sucks. Everyone on the block sucks. All the moms on the block sucks except for Sarah's mom. Shout out to Sarah Senior. Oh yeah, you gonna have to just get a job and say fuck them kids. Hopefully you're in college right now too, and you're going for your bachelor's degree, so you can get the fuck up out of your mom's crib because there is a lack of decency and respectfulness that she has for you. A lack of decency that she has for you. It's weird to say it like that because she does not have decency and or treats you decently or respectfully. Right? I say those words separately because they kind of mean the same thing, but don't. Right? I would not want to treat my kid like this. I would never treat my children like this, ever. I would never pawn my kids off to some random person on the block either. Either did the files not just be partially released? Did like 1% of what they actually are? But you're giving your kids away to some random on the block? I'm gonna leave y'all with the fact of the matter that women can be predators too. I'll just leave y'all with that one. All right. We're over in r slash am I the asshole with an H, with a post by Rowdy RU Throwaway WICH. What? Rowdy RU Throwitch. Y'all can find this one from the title if you want to read it. Am I the asshole for calling the cops on a teenager who tracked down my house and was demanding I let him in? Shoot first, ask question later. A few months ago, me and my family went out to watch a movie and then have dinner together. That includes my sister and my nephew. Two of my nephew's friends tagged along. They were friendly and nothing out of the ordinary. 2 weeks later, one of my nephew's friends, John, showed up at my doorstep and asked if he could come in. I was weirded out and got a bad vibe and asked him politely to leave. For context, I live alone with my daughter, who's 11 years old, and a virtual stranger dropped by at our home unannounced. I looked by the camera and he was holding flowers and other stuff. So I figured this was just a dumb kid with a crush who thought he could woo an adult. But I asked him twice to please just leave, and he wouldn't, saying he just had to see me and that he needed to tell me how much he loves me. This included a gross comment about me being a single mom. I told him I was calling the cops, and that's when he bolted. Cops later came, took my statement, and just circled around to make sure he wasn't still nearby. I specified that yes, he was just a kid, but I barely knew him, and he had tracked down my house and wouldn't leave until threatened. He didn't commit a crime, but the cops still dropped by his parents' house to give him a warning about not leaving private property when told to. I didn't ask the cops to do that. They just took the info I gave and called my sister to find out his last name and who his parents were, and just relayed that information to the cops since they were asking. I'm surprised she told them that. If the cops call me about anything, I'm like, click, click, click. I just wanted to make sure he was gone. That visit they did was on them. His mom called me and she apologized on behalf of her son if he made me feel unsafe, but then told me I went over the line by involving the cops and how teenage boys have crushes and is nothing out of the ordinary, and how this could ruin his life, and I should have remembered he's just a kid. To top it off, my sister also told me I went over the top and how he's one of her son's good friends, and that I should have called her when he wouldn't leave and she would have sorted it out. I went with my gut feeling and I don't regret it. OP, you are not the asshole. I'm not gonna lie, everybody need to get punched in the face in this story except you and your kid. Don't pull up at people's houses. If you're a teenager watching, listening, viewing this, reading the text, if I made this post on social media, don't pop up at people's cribs. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because now I'm liable to pop up in your bedroom at night when you're in a deep, deep cycle of REM sleep. I will tape you to your fucking bed and beat you with a sack of dead fishes. You will smell like death for the next week straight. Do not play with me. Do not. We got an edit. I'm 31, John is 16, and since I keep being asked about ages, and I forgot to include it originally, I'm adding it now. Some 16-year-old is going after a 31-year-old. Some 16-year-old boy is going after a 31-year-old. This is some stalkery ass shit. I don't know how you end up like this at 16, but the parents have failed. And this is concerning because he is 2 years, a year and a half away from going to college, and he will be 18. And the women around him will be 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And he will have access to dorm rooms. He will have access to parties where he could just boop. He could just boop. Just take a little something and just boop. Like it's boop. Like it's nothing. Just drop a little something in somebody's drink because he finds them so attractive and he loves them and he wants to just talk to them. This is some creep ass shit. I don't know how. Yes, I don't know how. I don't know how because I'm not a creepy ass fucking weirdo. I could be on some creepy shit, on some nerdy shit, on some weirdo shit, but my level would be down here, and the fucking weirdos in the stories level is all the way. You can't even see my ceiling, and I got high ass ceilings, very high ceilings. Ugh. I can understand like, oh, you fumble your words, you say some weird shit on accident to someone your age. Your age. It might come across as creepy that you brought flowers and multiple gifts and you only met this person once. Actually, it definitely would. It definitely would. Right? This ain't no fucking romance movie. This is real life. Let's read some comments. I'm gonna just go on a fucking tangent and I gotta go to sleep soon. Or like 2 hours ago. Top comment with 11,000 upvotes by Like a Sunset at Noon. Where the fuck is the sun setting at noon? The Arctic? A random person dropped by your house, wouldn't leave, so you called the cops. That's pretty basic due procedure. Yeah, it's a kid, but that makes it even more prudent to call law enforcement and not deal with them yourself. And Pride of Cape Town replies to that. Agreed. What if OP didn't call the cops and the teenage boy came back when the 11-year-old girl was home alone? Someone had to tell the kid his behavior was unacceptable because clearly his mom wasn't. Her dismissing his crush is one thing, but her completely overlooking the part where her son tracked down where OP lives is alarming. Yeah. Ooh, the FCC gave me HPV. Yo, these usernames don't want me to win. They want me banned. Oh my God. Leaves a comment with 700 upvotes. Well, seeing as we all know, no teen boy has ever committed a crime in the history of ever, you definitely went way over the line. Not the asshole, really, honestly. Hopefully he gets the message, but if not, now you have documented history to use for whatever further action is necessary. I don't think you overreacted. I think it was extremely inappropriate for his mother to say that shit to you. Get your kid in line if you don't want him to ruin his own life with his own choices and his own actions. And if your sister is so sure he's one of our son's good friends, she needs a new definition of good. If he wasn't listening to you telling him to leave, I doubt he would have listened to another adult woman. Kid is creepy and deranged. Hormones are a hell of a drug, but you're still in charge of your own actions. Yo. Really? Honestly? Me raising kids and then they become grown, my kids would be liable to shoot straight through the door. I told you twice. Now it's fa. You're 16. This 16-year-old can easily be like 250. Fucking linebacker on the goddamn high school football team. Right. This woman is 31 with an 11-year-old kid, probably tired for work and taking care of her kid all day. This This is some super predator shit. OP replies to, I'm not rereading that username at all. My sister has known the kids for years, so I'm really hoping she was temporarily taken aback and just put her foot in her mouth. But she insisted my nephew didn't tell him how to find me. And I told her that just made things worse, and she agreed it was creepy. He somehow tracked my house down. And here's the thing. There are no laws in America keeping our information safe. You can definitely go online and get your stuff removed from various different sites like People Finder. But the reality is your stuff is just going to go right back on the internet later on because there's money to be made. And this is a hyper-capitalist country, end-stage capitalism. These companies do not give a fuck unless you say, I'm going to sue you. I think you got to put yourself on an FCC list for like no contact. But that might be for like spam calls. I think. I don't know. So many TikToks I see. There's just a lot of information. And so do the Googling yourself and look at the .gov.org websites yourself for these potential ways you can have your internet information scrubbed. But normally there are like services for it and you got to send emails. It's just so much bullshit. But the reality is this motherfucker should not be looking you up. So fucking creepy, bro. I'm so freaked out. I'm so freaked out. I'm so creeped out, bro. And the thing is, like, is her nephew a deranged fucking loser too? Because the 16-year-old in the story is like a deranged loser. Like, honestly, a creepy deranged loser, in my opinion. My language might be strong, but who gives a fuck? This is not no shit that you do. Deranged because you're not thinking straight. Creepy because your actions that you're taking are creepy as fuck. And loser because you're 16 and you don't have no girl that you're crushing on that you can go out on a date with in high school. I was in a relationship at 16 in high school. I know a lot of people might not be, but I'm sure it's like 50-50. And I definitely wasn't interested in no one who was 31. I think at 16, everyone thinks that anyone over 21 is old. Definitely 25. Definitely. Fuck yeah, 30. Okay. Let's go on to the update because there's an update. So it turns out my nephew did give John my home address. Bunch of little pieces of shits. Everybody's getting punched in the face. Fuck a whipping. Fuck a timeout. Fuck a what is it? A punishment? The punishment is my fist in your face. My sister and my nephew stopped by my house, and my sister basically brought him along so he can explain and apologize in person. John's mom complained to another one of the mommies in their group about how John's friends are the reason he did something inappropriate. Ooh. My sister found out and got my nephew to confess. None of these moms are like taking accountability whatsoever. John apparently kept asking my nephew about me after the night I met him and told my nephew and their friends about his crush on me. My nephew and his friends egged him on to ask me out. One of their friends asked my nephew, when was the last time I had a boyfriend? My nephew answered without thinking and said 2 years. Then their little group told John he had nothing to lose and how I'm probably wanting anyone to ask me out. Oh, it's a delusional group of kids acting like incels. They're acting like red pill losers. Oh, the advice is so bad. Oh my God. My nephew emphasized how he didn't think John would actually do it, and it was just a stupid dare, and how they kept pressuring him to just give out my address so John could drop some flowers, and how John stopping by my house was never talked about. If he's going to drop some flowers, that doesn't mean he's going to have them delivered. And I'm sure if he put his name on there on a card, John, dope, he wouldn't know who the fuck that is because she met a 16-year-old boy once several weeks ago. What the fuck? These dumbass little kids, man. My nephew kept saying sorry and how he doesn't think that this would turn into such a big deal. I was having none of that and let him have it, telling him how handing out my address without asking to people I don't know was putting me and my daughter in danger, and how he's old enough to know better, and how stupid and thoughtless he acted. I told him he would never house sit for me again because God forbid another one of his friends put a stupid idea in his head, and that I can't really accept his apology because I don't even know if it's the truth. First, I was told he was shocked and angry at what John did, and now I'm being told that this was all a stupid prank between boys. So I can't be sure on what to believe. When I was done with him, I asked my sister if she thought this time my nephew was telling the truth, and she said this time he was. I then pointed out that this still didn't excuse John at all for trespassing and refusing to leave my house when I told him to do so. While I'm angry at my nephew for handing out my address, I still think there's something wrong with John. Definitely there is. This time, my sister didn't give me the boys will be boys crap and agreed and said she is bothered by how John's mom is still making excuses for him. I asked if at least now that kid has moved on and will leave me alone. My nephew said that from what he heard, John's dad put the fear of God into him, so he will likely never bother me again. He still asks about me, but my nephew has told him to drop it. The fear of God was not put into that boy then. So, if nothing else, I can't believe my nephew is angry at John for dragging him into this and getting him in trouble as well. So, I don't think he's protecting his friend and trying to soften what happened. It's been over a month since I called the cops on John, so I figure the timing of this is weird. And I feel both my sister and nephew know more, but at least I found out how that boy knew where to find me, and that he likely won't try the same stunt twice. That's enough for me. That's not enough for me. That's not enough for me. This whole group of boys is fucked up. No matter if what they're saying is the truth, partially the truth, was the truth, a different story is the truth. I'm angry. I'm angry. Let's read some comments. By Nina Apples. Top comment, 3.1K upvotes. So a bunch of teenagers painted the picture of you being a lonely and desperate older woman, and John's very first instinct was to try and get inside your house and wouldn't take no for an answer. Blurting out, I love you, and trying to woo you with gifts, thinking you'd be easy pickings. He still comes off as a stalker/predator in the making, who, unless his parents intervene and set him straight, will just be more careful in choosing targets and be better at attempts at love bombing. I hope his visit from the cops was the wake up his parents needed. Nope, because his mom's still acting the same, and his dad put the fear of God into him. But here he is, still, even after that, still talking about fucking OP. Well, not fucking OP, but OP. Or who knows? Who knows what he's saying to the friend group? A bunch of dumbass little kids, bro. And it's so horrible because they're teenagers heading into adulthood. So this behavior is so disturbing. I don't even know how you would properly nip it in the bud. There needs to be ramifications in education. Definitely the kid needs therapy. There we go. Definitely at a minimum, the kid needs therapy. Ugh. Like. Jocasta HB comments and quotes. He still asks about me. And says, that's worrying. And OP replies to that. I know, but by this point, I have no reason to ever give that boy the benefit of the doubt if he ever gets near me. And he and his parents know that. He'll be risking a restraining order and getting the cops called on him with a much harsher report if he tries anything again. You gotta make sure your fucking sister doesn't have any spare keys to your crib. I'm not gonna lie to you. You gotta do that. Oh my God, man. These kids are so messed up. Let's go to the fucking into the update. There really wasn't any further incident until last Saturday. So over a year since he knocked on my door and refused to leave. I'm still not sure what to do here. I was at the grocery store, caught John looking at me from a distance, and when he noticed, he blew me a kiss and walked away. This delusional fucking weirdo. I laced the entire fucking grocery store with mace. I let that shit rip. I stab a hole into the canister and fling that bitch off like it's a smoke bomb. Oh my God. I still had the number of his mom. Immediately called her. She didn't answer. So I texted that her son obviously hasn't learned his lessons. And if I find out he's purposely following me, there will be trouble. A few minutes later, she calls me back and asks where I am and where he is. She balks at him being in a random grocery store that's not even close to the neighborhood, but she quickly says he might be with friends buying stuff for a day at the beach they're supposed to be having later in the day. What? She calls him an idiot and profusely apologizes, saying he's just being an idiot, but you're still trying to help him dodge accountability? The fuck? She then says that she and his father have made it clear that if he ever happened to run into me, to just turn back and leave me alone, and that this is him causing problems for them. So you care more about yourself than your kid. Cool. Legally, I know I've got nothing to get the cops involved, as this was in public space and blowing a kiss doesn't count as a threat. I've got no proof he followed me here, and he's barely past 18, so just recently stopped being a minor. I want to think it was a coincidence that he was there and decided to be an immature brat when he saw me, but I still feel this is worth getting upset about. It's been over a year, and this kid hasn't learned his lesson, and his parents aren't doing a good job at sorting him out. If anybody has any advice, I'm all ears. You keep a hammer in your trunk and a hammer in your pocket. So if you're ever outside and you see him come around, you can smash his head in. And if you're ever inside and he gets to be too close to you, you let that shit fire off right into his chest and into his stomach, and then lower into his stomach, and then you aim and shoot the dick off. Top comment by Smell Suitable 2945. This is terrible. Terrifying. I forgot how to read because it is 12:28 a.m. I'm so sorry this is happening to you. Definitely document every run-in and try to get proof through video or photos. Evidence is needed, but really there isn't much you can do. I'm so sorry. The world is a scary place. Oh yeah, you could have gone to like asset protection security to get yeah, you could actually absolutely done that. Now I think about it. And that's where we are currently. That's the most recent update. Hopefully there isn't another update and this is just the final story and that kid goes off to college and he gets really, really educated and he's like, damn, I was a piece of shit. And maybe the next time OP sees him, he apologizes. But I don't know. We're over in r/am I the asshole with a post by Swiss Chocolate 81. Am I the asshole for telling my mom I won't help my brother again? There is a 40-year backstory to this situation, which I can only summarize briefly here. My brother, 42, has been causing problems ever since childhood. It started with small thefts and eventually escalated to him being expelled from school and placed in a group home. Over the last 20 years, he has had various jobs, most of which he either could not or did not want to keep for more than a few weeks. My parents always defended him, whether he quit a job or stole my mother's car and crashed it. They also constantly gave him money. My brother has ADHD and regularly completely loses control when something doesn't go his way. He never went through with any treatment, though. I don't know if that's ADHD. 10 years ago, he met a woman abroad who followed him into our country. They had two children together. They lived rent free in an apartment owned by our parents. Oh, y'all got money. The police regularly had to intervene because their arguments escalated completely. A few years ago, they bought a house in the woman's home country with my mother's money and immigrated there. However, my brother would return during spring and summer to work while staying with our mother. For a while, it seemed as if he had finally gotten his life together. 2 months ago, his wife had enough of his constant outbursts and told him she wanted a divorce. After that, my brother fell into a deep hole. He was prescribed medication and lost his job because the medication was considered a safety risk. Damn. I feel sorry for him. I really do. For weeks, he kept saying he wanted to admit himself to a psychiatric clinic, but they all have long waiting lists. Oh, that sucks. Since he also repeatedly hinted that he might harm himself, I suggested calling the police so they can bring in a doctor who might have him committed to a facility. In our country, this is called protective commitments. He then called the police himself, was committed, and only a few hours later accused me of having him locked up. What the fuck? He was released again the same evening, but shortly afterward wanted to enter clinic again. Although, as mentioned, there were no available places. 4 days ago, late in the evening, an emergency doctor called me. She had been called by my brother and mother. She explained she had managed to arrange a place for him in a psychiatric clinic and asked me to drive him there immediately. So, in the middle of the night, I drove my brother to this clinic, even though I had work the next morning. He insisted that this time he wanted to stay there as long as necessary. Well, today, I spoke with my mother on the phone. It turned out my brother had left the clinic after only a day and a half because he didn't like it there. Honestly, I was furious and told her to never call me again when my brother has a problem. My mother seemed shocked, but I'm simply exhausted and pissed. He has never learned to take responsibility or follow through with anything. I know he is not doing well, but obviously he refuses to accept help. You're not the asshole. You're not the asshole. You got used a little bit compared to the grand scheme of things. And your brother needs to figure out a way to restart his life and take care of his kids and his ex-wife. I blame the parents though, because whatever this is not ADHD. It's not. No, it's definitely not. Because I got that. This guy is on some kind of spectrum, maybe for bipolar disorder. I don't know. If you guys can grasp and understand, let me know. Top comment, not the asshole. You can't help someone who isn't willing to help themselves. It says Fior Born. And that gained them 335 upvotes. Tough. Quantum Potato 49 comments. 100% not the asshole. Your mother is enabling him and it's not helping him. Good for you for saying no. And OP replies, thank you. This is part of why I'm so pissed. I know my mother has been enabling him his whole life, and I've told her so many times, but I still feel sorry for my brother and my mother since she's in a bad place and my mother suffers because of this. Ditto Head Forever comments, you're not the asshole. Why should you give any more help to an overindulged asshole who refuses to help himself? Nope, he replies, this is a harsh judgment, but to be honest, this is exactly what I often think. And I feel guilty for those thoughts because he's really unwell and my 80-year-old mother suffers as well. if he had got help when he was a kid, he could be a lot better than where he's at now. Life would be so different. This has me like so sleepy and so upset. Okay, Letterhead drops a comment. Okay, Letterhead 1008, I should say. They got them an award. No assholes here, which is crazy. Your brother is in a pit and very, very unwell. He cannot make decisions that are in his best interest at the moment. You are completely at the end of your capacity to help, having made many efforts already. No one is being an asshole. This is just an awful situation for which no one is responsible. Happens often in life. Sending you strength, LP, and wishing the best for your family. I don't know how to feel about this. I really don't. I really don't. I don't know how to feel about this. Because it's not much of a resolution for me. Like, OP may be good in the future, but not that grown child. Subscribe to the Patreon and do that for me. I read some terrible stories that I kind of want you guys to suffer with me through. That would be like so awesome if you did that. You know, for me, you suffer with me. You go through a mental crisis with me, because the stories I read are much worse than just me reading them, if that makes sense. What these people are going through, it's a lot. It's a lot. We're over in r/Am I the Asshole with a post by Little Happy Worm. Am I the asshole for ignoring my dad's calls during my graduation? I, female 24, finished college a few months ago. Upon hearing, I told my family, including my dad, male 51. He said, congratulations, but mostly kept asking me what I was going to do now with my degree and if I was going to earn a lot of money so my degree would be worth it. My parents are divorced before I even went to high school. He, with some rare exceptions, never really paid for anything for me. So I don't know why it should be worth it to him. He didn't pay for it. I did. And the experiences and the things I learned are, to me, worth it. I said I would take a step back since I'm close to burnout, and I will just get a job that sustains me. And I will look for something more long-term after the summer. He did not like that, but since I don't see him that much because he lives hours away, that didn't bother me too much. Then I got the date of my graduation. I invited him while visiting him, and he said he would think about it. He concluded that it was too much travel to go to it. What? And the city is too annoying to park. It was quite annoying to hear because it was during a visit for which I traveled 3 hours by train, while he will only have to travel only 2 hours. Just two, by car. And the costs are about the same. And apparently to him, it's not important enough. Girlie's 24. This might be her master's degree here. But I said that if he really didn't want to come, I can invite Grandma instead. And he suggested we could celebrate another day with dinner near him. I asked my grandma to come. She said yes, but later changed her mind because she talked to my dad and he thought it wasn't a great idea for her to have to travel with my mom, since he and my mom don't go along well. Bitch, you won't be there. I already told my grandma my mom didn't mind and that my boyfriend and I would also be in the car. But she was convinced it was a bad plan. And now she had the time to bring my brother to my dad, who's throwing a party with his friends on the same day now. Shoot him. Shoot him in the face. Ooh, hold on. I didn't say that. Who said that? Who said that? Was it my inner hollow? Was it my inner hollow? No, it couldn't be. I'm a member of the Gote 13. It couldn't be. It couldn't be. You see. You see. I am no wizard, no wizard. Ooh. Ooh. Still, I tried to ask. Still, I tried and I asked him about the dinner when I saw him again. He said we texted about it, but when I texted him, he said it was too far away. And I didn't even have my diploma yet. I said I did have it already digitally. And since it's near the summer, I thought it was more practical to celebrate earlier since I know he has a lot of work in the summer. He stopped responding. My graduation was yesterday. Just after the ceremony, I was talking with some classmates when I saw my dad was calling me. I didn't pick up and thought nothing of it. I decided I would text him when I got home an hour or so later. But when I got home, I had about 10 texts from him. He told me he wanted to congratulate me and wanted to plan the dinner. But the messages got more angry, telling me that if I had wanted him to care, I should have picked up. And that this showed him how little I cared about it. And that I could forget about the dinner. Am I the asshole for not picking up? Should I have texted him back immediately? Walked outside to pick up? He's so mad at me that I feel like I must have fucked up. You fucked up, OP, by not being aware of DARVO. DARVO. Deny, attack, reverse the victim into the offender. DARVO. Your father is a manipulative piece of shit. He does not like you. He only thinks of you as an extension of himself and how he can use you for his own benefits. Because, as you can see, he decided to throw a party on the day that you graduate from college rather than be there in person to see you walk and pick your diploma. Your accomplishments mean nothing to him. He does not care about you. Treat him accordingly. Block him, for he is a stranger who is harassing you. It would behoove you to listen to me and listen to those in your life who are saying he is trash because he is trash. He is manipulative because he is manipulative. He is a piece of shit. And you need to hop and skip over it so it does not end up on the bottom of your shoes and you track it into your house. It will take entirely too much effort to scrub that out of your carpet and to clean the soles of your shoes. Let's read the top comment. By Baloney Girl, spelled in such a weird way. With 4.3K upvotes, not the asshole. Your dad sounds like he's being manipulative. A day without you and your accomplishments is now tarnished because you're worried about his feelings. He is not worried about yours. This got them 4.3K upvotes and 4 awards. This creature is incredibly selfish. Incredibly selfish. And I seek your replies and says it. Exactly. He sounds really selfish. The way he even prevented your grandma to come shows how much he doesn't really care about your feelings. He made sure your big day should be about him. Enjoy your success. Don't let your dad ruin it. And honestly, his mom raised him, right? Because she was so willing to be on his side and it made so much sense to her to not come. She gets these fucked up habits from him. He raised that into her. Nah. Block them both. I got family members I don't talk to. Who cares? Who cares? Honestly. Fuck them. They call, I don't pick up. I see them in person, I fake the smile, I fake the laugh. Nah, I hug it. They want to ask me for something. Stiff arm. I got shit to do. I got shit to do, do 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 do, and it's not to step in your shit. mm, 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 mm. Mm. So OP drops a comment for extra content. My dad is very big on the thing that I always need to pick up my phone since it could be an emergency. Thing is that 95% of the time he calls, it is not. But I did consciously decide to not pick up. And a part of me also did that out of the fact that I did not want him in that moment anymore after the things that happened. You have to call me twice. If I'm busy, you have to call me twice. I will assume it's an emergency then, and I will pick up the phone like that and say, "What's wrong? What's going on? You okay? What's happening? Explain." Oh, you just called twice. Busy. I will talk to you later. Love you. Bye. Busy. Because I'm a busy motherfucking person. Regular boot 3540 responds to OP. 1, he lives 2 to 3 hours away. You are not the person he should call in an emergency. 2, you were graduating that day. You are not the person he should call in an emergency. And this got them an award and 409 upvotes. These parents here do such a bang up job for themselves, but such a fucked up job for their kids, raising them in such a way to be doormats to their parents, to put their own parents' emotional needs, wants, and feelings over their own. And that is unacceptable. That is unacceptable. Right. Any behavior that I see like that, even a hint from any family members or friends, I call it out in the moment and I squash it right there. And I make them aware and known that you're being manipulative. You're being manipulative. That shit is not okay. Right. I call them out on that shit. And I'm sure it's like an age thing, but it's also like a force thing. It is not a comfortable thing calling people out. I may be Mr. Always on 10, but I got that name like lacking a filter. Not because I am incredibly forceful with my language. Some people, and sometimes in the moment, I may not feel comfortable or withhold language and words and phrasing. But you got to do it. It's for you. It is to attack your offenders, to regret the moment later on less, and to build up consistent methods and routines to not be taken advantage of. Because if this person was so incredibly manipulative to an even higher degree, he could have made OP skip her goddamn fucking graduation and could have made her drive to his party or whatever. She needs to cut him off totally and completely. Let's read this last comment from OP and we'll call it a night because it is 1 a.m. 1:18 a.m. And I still have to edit this for you guys. Wow, I had expected there to be so many responses. Hadn't. You meant to say hadn't, I believe. Thanks everyone for the kind words and congratulations. Yeah, congratulations to you. Master's degree? Even if it's like a fucking associate's degree that you got a 24, like you out here doing big things. Big things. I love it. Also, for the people who mentioned he might be a narcissist, I don't know. I do. And I am diagnosing even though I shouldn't. He is. Grandiose delusions he believes himself to be bigger than everyone else. I know my mom said it too at some point, but my brother, but to my brother, he's a lot better than to me. Probably because they have more aligned interests and personalities, although I do have a better bond with my brother and see him more frequently. I know my therapist doesn't like him, but she always specifies she can't make any conclusions about him because he never showed up to any appointments he was invited to. He does not believe in therapy and very strongly believes nothing can be wrong with his children. Would he believe it in the afterlife if you cracked the skull open? Over the years, I already started distancing myself from him. It helps that he now lives pretty far away. I always felt guilty for it, but seeing all you guys comment made me realize that's probably for the best. Made me realize that's probably the best way forward. And the way you type this and the way I tried to read it, we both need sleep. It still hurts, especially with moments like this, and I get really anxious. When he texts me all angry like that, thank you for everyone's response, and I'm sorry I don't respond to you all individually and personally. And we're going to leave the last comment with SheScan. Ask your therapist to help you learn to not get anxious when your dad texts or calls angry. This is a learned response because his purpose for getting angry was to upset you. He did, but you were a kid, and having an angry, unreasonable parent causes so much angst and so many bad feelings. It was a rational response for you. But now that you are older, you can change how you respond to his triggers. OP, my advice for you is to block him. Call out your inner hollow. Call out your inner hollow and block him. Yep. I say hi to White Ichigo. Even though if you're on core 3, core 4 of 1,000-year blood war, you know who this is. You know who this actually is. Right. You know who this actually is. And if you need to catch up, I'm not giving you any spoilers. But shout out to my sister for getting this for me for like 2 Christmases ago. And the quality is like fantastic too, because look at that. No sun damage to the box. This is top tier. Oh man. If only I was a kid, I would like play with this. But it's staying in the packaging. If it's worth something later on in life, I'll sell it if I need to. If not, it goes to my kids and then they can have it. Boop. It's a little dusty. I had to get rid of that dust. But I would like to thank all you beautiful, wonderful people. And wait, how do I say this phrasing again? I would like to thank all you beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people and you poorly educated. Wait, how's my phrasing go? This is what happens when I do shit when I'm so sleepy. I would like to thank all you beautiful, wonderful, intelligent people and you need to be educated, idiotic people for coming and listening to the Intelligent Idiots podcast. I have been your host, Mr. Always on 10, and I want you to have a beautiful day, night, week, month, and year. Peace. I need a nap. I gotta be to work in like fucking 5 hours.